Hey guys, what's up? It's Zyflin here. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to partake in the Operation Plague Star event. This is an event that takes place in the Plains of Eidolon, and it is to do with a massive infested tumor that lands in the middle of the plains. And you can get a lot of really good stuff from this event, be it is a little bit boring because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and I mean that's basically just Warframe in a nutshell, but this is kind of more boring because it's just kind of killing mobs. But I'm going to show you guys how you can do it like really efficiently to the point where you're making the most out of every single run that you're doing. So we're going to be playing as Necros in today's video. We're going to be using the Soma or the Soma Prime and the Atarax. You can replace the Atarax with another ranged melee weapon like the Orphos or the Guando or whatever. And all we're basically doing is we're using Necros to basically just use Desecrate. So there's a multitude of different Desecrate builds that you can use, but just to sort of simplify it for you guys, you're going to want to be running max efficiency with max range, and then that's all you're really going to have to do. You can run the Despoil build, but because I've been playing this game for a long time, I just never really made the jump to using Despoil, which basically just takes your health instead of your energy. I don't know why, I just kind of prefer having, you know, more health over energy type of thing. Just my thing. So this is the build that I'm running. Obviously, you can swap a few things out. Like, for example, you don't necessarily need to run Vigor. If you want to swap a different mod in there, then by all means, go ahead and do so. It's just something that I use to fill in that slot because I don't really run anything else. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Soma Prime build or the regular Soma build. It's pretty much the same thing. You want to be running your Serration, Heavy Caliber, and your Split Chamber. These are your free main damage mods. And then you want to run your Elemental Combo, your Stormbringer, and Infected Clip for Corrosive in this case. Then you want to run your Crit, Vital Sense, and Point Strike. So this is your crit chance, this is your crit damage. And then you have one extra slot, which you can either run a third Elemental type, like Fire damage, or you can run a Prime Beam mod, or Shred, or Prime Shred, or whatever you really have access to. Bladed Rounds, Argon Scope, they work as well. You can really do whatever here. Secondary doesn't really matter too much. I'm going to be using the Pandero in today's video. Obviously, pretty much the same build as the Soma Prime in a sense, because you're running your free main damage mods, Hornet Strike, Lethal Torrent, Barrel Diffusion. Your two crit mods, so you have Prime Pistol Gambit, Prime Target Cracker, your Elemental Combo, Pathogen Rounds, Convulsion, and then you have your one spare slot where we're running Hydraulic Crosshairs, which is the equivalent to Argon Scope on rifles. Next up, we have obviously our melee weapon build. And there are a lot of different ways that you could create like this type of build. So for example, let's say you don't have Maiming Strike, which is basically going to give you a flat 90% crit chance on a slide attack. You could run True Steel on here. And if you don't have Weeping Wounds, you could swap this here out for like a dual stat elemental mod, such as, you know, I forget the name. Let's just go ahead and find it. Like Volcanic Edge, for example, or, you know, basically whatever. It depends on the faction that you're going up against. Because we're going against Infested, you either want to run Volcanic Edge or you can run something like Virulent Scourge. It's just kind of all down to you which one you want to run. Prime Pressure Point on here, obviously for our damage. Prime Reach for the range. Blood Rush for our crit combo. You can get this from Leah Spy. Drifting Contact to keep our combo up. You get this from Nightmare missions. Organ Shatter for your critical damage because you're going to be running True Steel if you don't have Maiming Strike, of course. And then we have Berserker on here for that attack speed, which is going to be pretty good. So that is pretty much your melee build. You can run the Carrier as well. This is the build I'm running the Carrier. Not too important, but, you know, if you want to see it, it's there for reference. And other than that, it's about time we sort of explain the event. So, with this event came two new craftable items, and one is called an Infested Catalyst. If we can go ahead and get it. So this here, you can acquire this item by going into your clan's dojo and then going into the biolab, researching it, and then purchasing the reusable blueprint, and then just crafting a load of these over and over and over again, right? You're basically just going to use these to create a mixture alongside the Eidolon, let's see what they're called, Eidolon Phylaxes, to basically make something which is going to combat the Infested, which is coming out of the tumor or meteor, okay? So you don't need these from the get-go because you are going to have to go into the plains and play the event like a few times before you can actually get your hands on the Eidolon Phylaxes, because you buy it from the vendor or the syndicate type thing, which you're going to be sort of grinding rep for to sort of get the items from, right? So those are the two things you need. They are craftable Grenier, or not Grenier, sorry, gear items. I, for some reason, mix Grenier and gear up. But they're craftable gear items, so once you have them crafted, you just go ahead and you equip them in your gear section, and you're going to be using 4 of these at a time. So make sure that you're crafting a lot, because you're going to need a lot if you're going to want to, obviously farm this event. And it is worth it to farm the event. Like I said, the gameplay itself is a little bit boring, but like, the rewards are super worth it, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and jump straight in to see this. We're going to try to find the camp server. There we go, number 25. And I'll go through the rewards first, just so you guys can kind of see what it is we're going for, because there's a lot of very worthwhile stuff in there. There is invested saw parts, which, if you don't know what saws are, they're basically like craftable weapons in the game, and most of them are best in slot at the minute. So like the craftable sword is the best sword in the game right now. So all you're going to want to do if you're having trouble finding this guy is you can go ahead, pause the game, hit fast travel, and go to Nakak, okay? And this is basically the guy that you want to be talking to. So he is the little guy who sells all the masks, and an easy way to find them is if you come over to the door, which leads out into the plains, and then just follow the right-hand side down this way, and then you should see a bunch of players usually standing at him, buying their stuff for this operation. So just go ahead, interact with him, press Operational Supply, and then you're able to see basically your syndicate standing with this guy, okay? So your goal is to get the champion, and then once you get the champion, you can go ahead and you can purchase everything in here. So we have flares, which is basically just a fancy cosmetic item, which increases the affinity range, believe it or not. So you can share affinity further within the planes. You can get either red or blue. You have your little emblem here, which you can put on your shoulders. We have Cetus Wisps, which this is important because you can straight up buy these. This is a resource which you usually find just floating near lakes within the plains. You're going to need to have a lot of these to build the amps that Onko sells for your operator, okay? So you need to get a lot of these, and it's very good that they're in here just for standing and credits. So, I mean, it's worthwhile to sort of farm this event to get a lot of these. Remember, the event's going to be on for like another 10 days, so that's why I'm making this video now, to let you guys know. On top of that, we also have these rare sort of gems here, and these are craftable versions of the gems, okay? So basically, what these are is it's like a refined gem, so you have to get 3 of like the rough gem to sort of craft these. And to put it in the sort of context for you, I've only found 3 of the rough gems, which allowed me to craft 3 of these gems, if that makes any sense. So these are like refined gems, which you're going to have to craft arcanes, like for example this one right here. So you see you need 3 radiant centurium, and you also need to craft this 10 times to get the full effect. So it's worthwhile to go in and basically buy as many of these as you can, because that's going to decrease the grind significantly. We have no idea if this vendor is going to stay, but we do know that this vendor is going to come back if it does indeed leave, and this event is going to come back as well, so it makes sense. We have some fish parts right here. I mean, fishing is very easy in this game, at least I feel, in my opinion. Of course, it's a big time investment, but I mean, like, you can see I have the resources just sitting here. I have 24 Mercury, liver, 82 Nord brain, and then 41 Kufal tendrils. If you just want to dedicate a day to fishing and get all those resources, by all means, go for it. We have Fulmination and Sacrifice. So Fulmination, I'm not too fond of because it just increases the blast radius. It's kind of like Firestorm, but for pistols. I don't see why you go for this. We have Sacrifice here. And this will basically like revive you, but at the cost of your Sentinel, and this can be used in conjunction with something like Prime Regen, for example. So it's a very good mod if you're willing to invest the time into, maxing out Prime Regen and obviously fitting this into your build as well. That's totally fine. You can buy Built Forma, which for newer players, that's a big thing because Forma is very hard to come by because you have to go out of your way to farm neural sensors, neuros, Oricon cells, Morphics, things that newer players won't have. So if a newer player takes part in this event, if they're able to, of course, and there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to, you should be able to take part in this event, say around Master Rank 5. Obviously you won't have like, very maxed out mods, but you'll still be able to hold your own type of thing. So Master Rank 5 is the level that I would recommend sort of jumping in this event. You'll be able to purchase yourself Foreman, which is pretty good. We have the Eidolon Phylaxis, which is the reusable blueprint for the craftable gear item, which you're going to need to sort of get more reputation. The Snipetron blueprint and the Ether daggers, so these are just weapons that you need for Master Rank. And then we move on to the fun stuff, which is obviously your arcanes, so the Exodia Contagion blueprint. Melee attacks unleash a projectile of infested energy after a bullet jump or double jump, which if you're a good Warframe player, you should be doing that a lot anyway. So this is like just one of those things that you should have on at all times. And it's pretty fun as well. I've seen a lot of people use it. It's actually insanely fun. And then we have slam attacks after a bullet jump or double jump unleashes a shockwave of infested energy, suspending the enemies caught in the blast radius. So pretty cool. You know, it's just a cool effect that you can throw onto your melee weapon, which is pretty badass. But like I said beforehand, it takes 3 of the refined gems or a specific refined gem to craft, and you need to build these arcanes 10 times. So if you want to get the full effect out of it, that's just what you have to do, okay? And then last but not least, we move on to the infested Zaw parts. Now, you may want to stock up on these and buy at least 5 of each, because, like, you know, they will be pretty good. The stats on them are pretty good. So we can't see them right here, but pick all of these up. Get at least 1 of each of these. Pick all of them up. Same with Arcanes. I recommend getting 10 just so you have it. And then pick at least 1 of all of these different Zaw parts up, okay? And then we'll talk about, you know, crafting Zaws in a later video. I'll probably make a Zaw guide or something, including these parts. And then, obviously, we'll delve deeper into the whole crafting system. But keep in mind, the crafting system is going to be a system which constantly changes. So it's going to be hard to make, like, one straight-up video. But next, we're going to move on to actually playing the event itself. And this is actually, like, a piece of cake. It's that easy. It's about, like, a level 20 to 30 mission. But obviously it says here 15 to 25. The enemies will get to level 30, but it's very straightforward. You also get bounty rewards and stuff like that, so there's no reason not to do it. Only reason you shouldn't do it is if you're getting bored of it, which, I mean, with the type of event this is, you might get bored very fast, okay? So all we're going to be doing is heading into the plains, and this is basically set up like a bounty, okay? So it's got, you know, I think 4 stages. So there is the retrieving the mixture, which is what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to go ahead and spawn in my Arcwing. It's going to be mismatching colors, so I'm sorry about that. It's going to be completely yellow, and we're just going to go ahead and blink over to the objective, or at least get there as fast as we possibly can, right? Go ahead, press E, and we're going to be heading into this cave over here, okay? So you want to be at this cave entrance, and we're just going to go ahead and head on in and pick up the mixture. So you're gonna have to look around and find the mixture, and it'll be a different cave every time you basically load up the bounty, right? So you see the enemies are only level 20, very easy to kill if you're bringing a high-end slash damage weapon, which you should be doing because these guys are infested and, you know, they don't have any resistances, so they're very weak to slash and stuff like that. So all we're gonna be doing in this cave is looking for the big yellow circle, which you guys can see in the map, and then within that yellow circle, we're going to be looking for the mixture, and it's going to be in this like little pod container thing. So this is it right here. Go ahead, kill this guy, bring it out, and then that's stage 1 of the bounty completed, okay? So we're just going to go ahead, kill him, and then we're just going to make our way out of the cave again, and that's basically it. That's stage 1. Very easy. Like I said, keep in mind, it's going to be a different cave every time you play this, so it won't be in that exact same location, but, I mean, at least you guys know what the thing looks like now, right? So all we have to do now is take this to, like, a little defense place in the map, and if you guys have played a bounty before, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a little orange container. That's all we have to go to, and then that's where we will use our infested Achilles and Eidolon Phylaxes to make like an advanced version of the mixture. And how it works is, for every sort of objective you complete or ingredient you add to the mixture fully, you're gonna get plus 1000 standing. So if we add in 4 infested Achilles and 4 infested or not infested, sorry, Eidolon Phylaxes, we are going to get plus 2000 standing, right? So that's basically how the event works. So you get the base 1000, and then you get another 1000 for the infested Catalyst, and then another 1000 for the Eidolon Phylaxes, and that's basically how it works. So let's just go ahead and jump in to the little thing. And now you guys might be panicking at this part if you're a newer player, because you're like, oh, it's a defense mission, and I'm playing Necros. Necros is actually very versatile in the sense that, like, you know, you can just use Terrify to make enemies run away from the objective, right? So all you want to do here, you see in the left-hand corner there, it says Infested Kalis, Eidolon Phylaxes. Open up your gear wheel and just, you know, press each of them 4 times. And that's really all you have to do. And I will do the same with the Infested Catalyst. Like so. Done and dusted, okay? And now we just have to defend this thing for 2.5 minutes. So what I'm basically going to be doing is just standing here, spamming Terrify, and then none of the enemies will get close. Obviously, you can jump around and kill them. You can bring a different frame. But I recommend bringing Necrus because Necrus is going to make farming the Hunter mod set, which drops from the reskin Lephantis, a lot easier, okay? So this is basically what we're going to be doing. Also, don't forget to bring Zeneric, because I forgot to bring Zeneric like an idiot, which means I can't restore my my energy with Energizing Dash. So if you have Zeneric, then make sure to use that. But I have my Narmon still equipped because I was farming Focus before making this video. So I just have an Affinity boost right now, which is very upsetting, right? So that is basically that. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up until this thing is done, and then once it's done, we'll move on to the next part of the bounty, which is moving the mixture with a little drone. So I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so once the mixture is done, all you have to do is go back to the console, pick it up, and now we're going to be making our way towards the next objective, which, like I mentioned beforehand, was just inserting this thing into a little drone, and then the drone is going to carry the mixture all the way to the big infested tumor, which lands in the middle of the map. And looks like we actually got a very bad spawn for it, because this just means it's going to have to travel further. So I might also speed this section of the video up, just so we're not wasting your guys' time, and you get everything you need to know out of the video in a very condensed amount of time. So you just insert it in, and this is basically just another like escort. So you just have to stay with it, and I mean, if you're having trouble, just use Necros's Terrify to scare enemies away. Very simplistic, and it just makes it so that like this event is easily soloed. So all you really have to do is just stand with this thing relatively close, just spam 2, or keep your free up or whatever. Well, your free will, if you're killing enemies, it'll make them drop health orbs and stuff like that. So I mean, extra resources, why not? So you can kill the enemies or you just terrify them away. Totally fine. Like so, they're just running away, and they'll be running away for like 24 seconds. So by the time that your Terrify runs out, the objective is going to be like way too far away for them to even care about it anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed up this part as well, and I'll see you guys once we get to the actual like meat and potatoes of it, I guess. Alright, so we've got the drone to the big tumor, as you guys can see. You don't want to go anywhere near this thing because it's going to do like a massive toxin proc on you and probably end up killing you. But from this point onwards, the event is basically just killing a bunch of infested and also killing like miniature Lephantises that come out of the tumor as well. So as we start killing, I'm just going to go ahead and kill them with the Adarax. I'm going to activate my free first so we get all of our health orbs and stuff so we don't like die, obviously. So we're just going to spin to win it. And then you'll see that the percentage in the left-hand side just keeps on going up. Now, you won't be able to complete the event until you kill all 4 of the Lephantises, unless you're coming into this without inserting all the infested catalysts, right? So, you're going to make sure that you put all 4 in, so you do get all 4 Lephantises to spawn. So, he is called Hemocyte. Basically, what's going to happen is once we kill this guy, he's going to drop like a little pod, which you're going to need if you want to sort of help out your clan build a trophy that is to do with this event. So all you're going to want to do, shoot him with the Soma, do the green head first, then do the orange head, and then we'll do the head with a scythe. And make sure whenever you're doing the head with a scythe that you're standing in the area where he can sort of like swing the scythe at you, so you can see like the actual little face on his chest. Because if you can't see the face on his chest, then you're not going to be able to damage him. I find sometimes that you're not able to just shoot his mouth, which is kind of weird. So you've seen right there, we got 2 Hemosif sight, or what were they called? Hemosif somethings. But we got the little thing that dropped, and it's very, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Okay, so it's basically like a little cyst. I think that's what it is. But you pick it up, and then that's what you're going to use to build the trophy within your clan's dojo. So you just have to keep on killing these guys. They are going to get progressively harder to kill as you kill them, like the Lephantises, or the Lephanti, whatever you want to call them. But it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you have enough ammo in your Soma, and you're not going to run out because you are playing with Necros. You've got your Desecrate up, and I mean, there's basically no way that you can die with all the health orbs dropping because of how much you're killing the infested and stuff like that. The only downside to this is the reload speed of your Soma. Pretty annoying, so yeah. Sometimes you can't just shoot this guy in the mouth, like I said. So you see how there is getting like little damage numbers on his actual mouth there. Sometimes it bugs, and you have to shoot the face in his chest. That was a bug that I noticed happening. So you just got one of the hunter mods, and we got the Hemocyte Syphilith. That's what it is. So if you're looking for those Hemocyte Syphiliths, and you're looking for the hunter mod sets, which drop off Lephantis, because obviously you want to have as many of those as possible. And if you're farming the event like a lot to get those Zaw parts, to get those Arcanes, to get the Forma, to get the Wisps, and to get the Gems, like there's a lot you can get from this event, then chances are you're going to have a lot of those Hunter mod sets. And they are pretty good right now, as far as I'm aware. But obviously that can change in the future. They could be made better, they could be made worse, and who knows what the price of them is going to be once this event goes away, because we don't know if we're going to be able to still get our hands on them once they go away as well. So we're just going to have to wait and see. So this is the third Lephantis. We're almost done. So all we have to do is keep on spinning the winning with an Adrax. And if you do get overwhelmed, just go ahead and press 2. Make all the enemies run away. Pretty simple. It doesn't work on the Lephantis, of course. At least I don't think it does, but let's go ahead and shoot his face. Get the third one killed. Let's see if we can. Open up. There we go. And almost dead. Is he dead yet? I can't tell if he's dead yet. There, we got him. Another Hunter track. Pretty good run so far. Getting the rare one. Even though they all have equal drop chance, keep that in mind. It's just the rarity on the mod type thing. So you see how we're at 99% in the far left-hand corner, and like, you know, it's not going to go to 100%. No matter how many infested we kill, we have to kill this last Lephantis. Okay, that was... Oh, he's doing some weird shit with his head there. But we have to kill the last Lephantis before we can continue on. Only thing I don't like about this fight is the fact that he keeps on turning around whenever I'm trying to shoot the green head. That's very, very annoying. Lephantis, please. Please open up. Please. Okay, one more time. One more time. A few more times. No? Come on. Do you see how he's a lot harder to kill now? Like, the first Lephantis, we put, like, not even half a magazine into his head, and he died instantly. And now he's kind of taking, like, maybe 2 magazines or so. So, this is something you have to put up with. Just shoot the heads as they open. Reload speed, please. Okay, let's just go ahead and terrify these guys away. Guys need a swipe to jump over it. Guys opened up. Come on. This is the last one. Go a little faster. Please. Pretty please. Yeah, so like I said, if you've been watching my health during this entire fight, like it's basically impossible for you to die because you're using Necros and you're, you know, spawning health orbs as you kill enemies. You could bring a frame like Equinox or something. She's got that passive where energy orbs also get converted into health orbs, stuff like that. Or you can just bring like Life Strike or whatever, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Reload again. You just kind of do whatever, you know. So, very easy fight. Shouldn't cause you too much trouble, at least in my opinion. But then again, like I'm sitting here just spinning and winning with the Adrax, you know. So, should almost be dead. This head. There we go. That's it, dead. Alright, last one. Okay. Come on. There we go. So make sure to pick up the little Syphilith. And then, obviously, if they drop any Hunter mod sets, you want to pick those up as well. And hold on to those until after the event. Maybe even test them out. Do whatever you want to do. And then that is basically it. That's the bounty completed. So you just want to go ahead, head back to Cetus. Look towards the big tower. Spam your 1 if you're using Itzel. Obviously, if you have enough energy. And then look up in the air, press E. Fling yourself forward. And slide through the gate. Pretty easy. So now we can just go back and then see if we need to farm anymore. And yeah. So it's a pretty easy event. Nothing too taxing. And the rewards are pretty good. So that's just how I would do it solo. I find it goes faster for me solo. You can do it co-op if you want to, but that's how you solo it. So just go ahead, browse wares. Oh, wrong thing. Go to operational supply, and you can see that you got your standing, and then you can just go in here and then buy whatever it is that you fancy. Okay, so that is basically it. The last thing that I want to show you guys is actually how to donate those little syphilis to your clan's dojo. So in my clan's dojo, we have the statue sitting right in front of like where the player spawns, so it's super hard to miss. you might want to look around a little bit in your dojo if you're not in my clan. So all we're going to do, go into the dojo, and I'm going to show you guys how to donate, because apparently there's people in my clan who's been playing for 2 years who don't know how to donate to decorations. So this is the statue right here. You're going to want to pause the game, go to decorations, press place decorations or edit decorations, depending on what your status is in the clan. Press contribute to decoration by pressing 2 on your keyboard, and then just go ahead and add in your Humusite Syphilith, and then press tribute, and that's basically it. So that is pretty much it for the event, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit the like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.